Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 108. Leave me to mine. Hiccup stared down at the hatchlings, then looked back up to the adults. His gaze found the ones he had given safety from the waves to, and he winced. He had told them that they did not have to join his nest unless they wished to. He promised them the freedom of choice, and yet his voice had their hatchlings responding as if he was already their alpha. Hiccup felt like a thief. He had stolen the young from their parents. "I'm sorry," he whispered, gaze pleading with the 4 adults to forgive him. The 4 dragons looked at each other, and then the other nest dragons, and then at their hatchlings. To Hiccup's shock, all 4 stepped forward and bowed, wings spread as they were able within the space available on the cliff. "Humans did destroy our old nest," the male Nada said, "and did kill our previous alpha. But it was not a dragon alpha that pulled our hatchlings out of the way of the sea. It was not a dragon alpha that gave us a place here without expectation for a reward. It was not a dragon alpha that said their nest would ensure we had food for both ourselves and our hatchlings. The elders used to say that hatchlings have an uncanny ability of realizing who is worth following and obeying, and who is not. And all those hatchlings are correct. You are worth following and obeying. May we call you our alpha? May we join your nest in full?" Hiccup shuffled closer, the hatchlings shuffling with him, but never returning their gaze from him. They did make room for the adults, mostly by just sitting under them and shifting around as they were able to still stare up at Hiccup. "Please stand," Hiccup whispered. The 4 adults did so. Hiccup held out both hands and turned his gaze, determined to give the dragons a choice they could make, even if he was not entirely sure how he could expect 4 dragons to press their beaks into his 2 palms if they did wish so. He had the questioning chitters. "He is giving you a choice," the Sand Wraith said, and Hiccup heard awe in the youngling's voice. "To touch him or not?" Hiccup smiled as he felt warm scales press into his hands and arms. He turned back, not surprised to find all 4 adults staring at him with dilated eyes. "Welcome to the nest," he said softly. He frowned when he heard Gita and Shadowfire gasp, and Astrid made a noise that sounded like a strangled version of what she had shouted when Toothless plucked her from the forest of Berg. "How interesting," a new voice from the waters beyond the cliffs said. "It seems this place is no longer safe for those in my nest who use it. I shall have to speak to that water twister. She is lacking in her duties." Hiccup shifted so he could see over his shoulder, and his jaw dropped. The red death that had been the biggest dragon he had ever seen. This one dwarfed that one. He, by the voice in the common tongue, also rose out of the water, further back than the Submaripper. Hiccup believed that had to do more with the dragon's twin tusks, the points of which hovered just off the cliff. The dragon looked at all around on the cliff, before his gaze fell upon Toothless. "I used to believe windstreakers were more intelligent than to fall for the tricks of humans." "Hey!" Toothless's sister said, spinning around to face the dragon in full. "Just who do you think you are, tusked king? I may not agree with my brother's decision, or fully understand them, but he is smarter than you are." "Young female, I am the alpha." "You are not my alpha," Toothless's sister said. "My alpha is my father who leads my nest. I don't know who you are." "You're not my alpha either," Toothless stated, glaring up at the dragon. His comment was echoed by every adult nest dragon, even Shadowfire. Hiccup glanced towards Gita's son. He sounded confused, perplexed, and sad all in one, which bothered Hiccup. But he also knew that right now was not the time to find out why. He would ask Shadowfire later, though, just as his human friends no longer had to hold anything concern that would fester. The dragons were free to bring those issues to him. He would listen, especially to those bonded to his friends. Before anyone could say or do anything else, Pinpoint, returning with the others, screeched and dove. He landed in between Toothless and Toothless's sister. The fish he had been bringing back flattened under his talons. He glared up at the massive dragon. "You!" he growled. Hiccup's eyes widened. Even the first day he had met Pinpoint, the dragon had not sounded that angry or held that much contempt in his voice as he did right then. "Ah, young spike thrower," the massive dragon said. "As you are here, I trust you're intended as well. Or you found another." Pinpoint hissed. "My mate is alive! No thanks to you." "I told you, young one, that I had no warriors who could travel that far to rescue a dragon from an island's worth of humans." Pinpoint growled. "It matters not," he snarled. "She was rescued by warriors of the nest I now live in. Under his orders," he added, using his tail to point to Hiccup. "The only one here worthy of the title Alpha in my eyes." "You poor delusional fool," the dragon said. "Humans will always go for the kill. That human will turn on you." "Okay, that's enough," Astrid said, moving to stand in between Pinpoint and Toothless. "You," she growled, pointing at the massive dragon, "have worn out your welcome. Leave. Now." "And who are you to order me about, human? My future queen," Hiccup stated, allowing his power to coat his words in his anger. No one disrespected Astrid, not even massive dragons claiming to be an alpha. "And she said you were no longer welcomed here. Return to your nest and leave me to mine." End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Oh boy, the Bewilderbeast! I've been waiting for him to show up. That scene, Astrid, she is smaller than his smallest scale, and she was just like, "Okay, you're not talking about my man like that. Back off." Love that energy. And Toothless's sister is fighting back, and Pinpoint. Show that fire, little nutter boy. I am proud of you for how much you've grown. And him saying that Hiccup's the only one worthy of the alpha title. I like that one. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.